And we near the business end of the USL Championship season. Tonight, live from Dignity Health Sports Park, a huge clash in Group B out west as LA Galaxy 2 gets set to take on Landon Donovan and visiting San Diego Loyal Soccer Club. Happy to have you along with us wherever you may be listening or watching, especially of those of you on ESPN Plus. I'm Christian Miles, pleased to be joined by former LA Galaxy goalkeeper Kevin El Gato Hartman. Gato, a big game tonight. The Galaxy a little inconsistent, but coming off a good performance. A lot at stake for San Diego as well.
Obviously, this is a matchup of two teams at the bottom of the table. Final portion of the season. This lineup here, it's a lineup that has Austin Guerrero, who is a goalkeeper that's going to get a new shot at it. Elijah Martin, Morad, Clementa, and Metcalf in the back. Hackworth, Adams, Martin, Guido in the midfield. And then you'll have Rubio Rubin and Miguel Berry up top.
And Berry, of course, scoring twice the last time these two met in that big win here 2 weeks ago. And Rubin coming off a hat-trick performance in a very impressive win away to Phoenix. Let's talk about Los Dos here. Not a lot of changes for Junior Gonzalez in a 4-2-3-1 setup.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at Abraham Romero, he's had a great run. Mauricio Cuevas is probably one of the players that the LA Galaxy brass are most excited about. They're balanced off with some really good veterans, but this is a team that's got about 60% of the group is under 18 years of age.
Yeah, youth shall be served. The one change, of course, coming off that victory against Las Vegas, and that will see the reintroduction of Jonathan Perez as Sebastian Nava drops to the bench. All right, we're all set for a good one. Keep it right here wherever you're watching or listening. It's going to be good. It's USL Championship action. LA Galaxy and San Diego. Stay with us.
Nice touch from Pavard. Still Christian Pavard! Corona! Oh boy! It's a good chance for Alvarez! His first MLS goal! He's got an open goal!
Nightfall in Carson, California, the venue tonight. The DHSP in Carson as LA Galaxy 2, after a 8-day layoff, get back to action against San Diego Loyal. Big player to watch and a huge turnaround for San Diego Loyal here, Gato. And the form of Rubio Rubin has been outstanding.
Yeah, he got 3 goals last week against the Phoenix team. Got a hat trick, all the goals in the first half, so he's going to be an absolute monster and a presence up top for San Diego.
Actually made his San Diego debut the last time these two met in that 3-0 win over Los Dos. And 4 goals in the entirety. What an acquisition he's been. Let's take a look at the way it shapes up here for Los Dos. Augie Williams is getting a lot of the credit up front, but it's in the back, a guy that played your old position that is really making some waves for himself.
Yeah, Abraham Romero has been somebody that's been a real impetus to the success of this team this year. I actually had the opportunity to talk to Abraham Romero. He wanted to make sure he played this game in honor of Jacob Preto, a friend of his from Houston, Texas. He wanted to let the family know that they were in his thoughts and prayers. So our thoughts for Mr. Preto and his family.
Well, it's second in Group B, paying a visit to third in a race for the playoffs. LA Galaxy 2 on 21 points, having played 2 less games. And of course, we observe 15 seconds of silence in observation of social equality. USL is united against racism. The Galaxy, as well as San Diego, have come together to recognize the fight for equality, diversity, and inclusivity by using the first 7 minutes of tonight's match to honor the ongoing movement around social injustice and the need for positive change in our sport and in our society. We are underway. San Diego attacking the goal to your right across your screens in the orange tropical kits. And LA Galaxy 2 in their usual home white. Just one change for Junior Gonzalez and the team that came back from 2 goals down in rather impressive fashion here at Carson against Las Vegas, and that will see Jonathan Perez, a player that can get you out of your seat, an exciting prospect starting on the right-hand side of midfield. But here's Saldana. He'll be part of that double pivot in central midfield, playing more of that number 6 role here, Gato, just alongside Adrian Vera.
San Diego looks like they're going to come out in a 4-4-2. Offensively, it looks a little bit more like a 3-5-2, as they do a good job of getting Jack Metcalf up that right side.
Metcalf playing at that right wing-back position. They'll set it up top for Miguel Batty, who torched the Galaxy for 2 in the first half. All 3 goals in that 3-0 win here in Carson 2 weeks ago, coming in the first half, and 2 off the feet of the Spanish-born San Diego loyal striker. And what a change in fortune it's been over the last 3 games here, Gato. 8 goals. That's as many goals as they had scored the entire season before that point. So, rapid transformation. And here's one of the big reasons why. Rubio Urbin plays it for Berry. Tough angle. And a sliding challenge made by LA's Mauricio Cuevas.
Important intervention there from Cuevas, obviously. You know, you were talking a little bit about the goals last week. Cuevas was very aggressive into this near channel, but it's 2 important interventions there early for him.
And Junior Gonzalez, and Al said he was sucker punched by San Diego the last time these two met. We didn't have the right mentality. They came out a little flat against Las Vegas, and suddenly alarm bells were going, but they really righted the ship. First corner of the night, near side on the in-swinger, sent off the foot of San Diego's Charlie Adams. Headed away by Adrian Vera. Nice foot to it by LA's Ivan Gutierrez. And tries to get the counterattack going for the hosts. Had a nice little run there for Johnny Perez. And what do you make of this Galaxy team? It seems to blow hot and cold lately.
Yeah, you know, it's been great to watch Vasquez. I think that when he and Neal are in there together, or him and Ferkranus are in there together, I think it's a great mixture. But I thought the last time that this San Diego team came up here, it was a situation where we had Jalen Neal, Marcus Ferkranus on the field together, and I thought that maybe left them at a little bit of a disadvantage. 2 great players for the future, but Jesus is really the balancing act between those 2 guys, I think.
Familiar face on the touchline, that of Landon Donovan, the owner, of course, of San Diego, loyal, one of the owners, and of course the executive vice president of soccer operations, says he's loving every minute of his post-playing career, and a whole new set of challenges. Here's Rubin, meanwhile, laying it off for Metcalf, the Englishman. Nice piece of individual defending there on the left-hand side from Cuevas as Galaxy 2 win it back. Possession, though, all too short-lived. San Diego just bossed it the last time these two met. Quite the antithesis of the prior meeting back in July 19th when things were just getting restarted. Only 1 goal down, and San Diego came in the second half from Jesus Vasquez, who was set up nicely on the header by Augie Williams. But this is an entirely different team, an entirely different animal, San Diego. Former Galaxy man Emra Clementa, one of those two changes, along with goalkeeper Austin Guerrero from the team that won impressively 3-2 in Phoenix over Saturday.
Looks as though the LA Galaxy is starting a little bit deeper, looking to attack that space in behind. Looks solid defensively. Good possession here from San Diego, though.
Alejandro Guido making some inroads down this left-hand side. He'll leave it out wide to the left from Hackworth, and underneath his cross is the left back Cuevas. Brought down by Saldana. And it'll be a free kick for Los Angeles. LA, 2 wins and 2 defeats. A little hit and miss, but my goodness, what a transformation. A 3-match winning streak for San Diego coming into tonight. And that coming, of course, after 2 draws, 1 away to Orange County and a 1-1 affair at Las Vegas.
Jalen Neal here. You'll see the LA Galaxy plays a pretty methodical way out of the back. They really do try to find Saldana as the 6 in advance of the ball and looks to really create on the dribble. Finds great action out of Perez and Jorgito Hernandez there as the 10, but really it's been Williams that's been tying it together. Unfortunately, they haven't had a ton of the ball as of yet, but certainly that looks to evolve as the match moves on.
Junior Gonzalez saying he wants a little more possession, but it's a team that doesn't look uncomfortable off the ball, Kevin.
That's correct. I think Junior does a good job keeping him disciplined. He's got a great staff and they work well together. It's been, I think, a joy to watch. You know, I think through these COVID times we've seen some changes, and there's certainly a lot of young players, but it's presented an opportunity, and these players have really stepped up and taken advantage of it.
Yeah, free kick here for San Diego. A good look at one of the big changes. Alejandro Guido, who was brought in at the beginning of the month, had a hand to play in that goal. It sucker punched LA. 34 seconds in from Miguel Berry. Comes over on loan from LAFC and has really provided a big lift, gives them a little bit more width in attack as well. Meanwhile, Metcalf pushing higher as usual in his right back role. Clementa actually featured for the LA Galaxy senior team on several occasions in 2018. Vasquez getting stuck into the challenge. No call from the referee. And tidied up in the middle by Saldana. Perez for Jorge Hernandez. Couldn't quite find the connection, but well cleaned up, and it's open field now for Fernandez. And Hernandez has got Augie Williams with him, puts it on his left, lays it off. It's Vera! And that one saved easily by Guerrero. But positive signs on the counterattack for Los Dos.
Yeah, it's a quick transition there, and all of a sudden LA Galaxy find themselves up 3 versus 2 to goal. It's a good recovery from the San Diego midfield to kind of stomp that out, but in the end, it's Austin Guerrero making a comfortable first save.
Galaxy win it back. This is Cuevas, the 17-year-old. And broken up and won back by San Diego's Colin Martin. Part of that midfield too, along with captain Charlie Adams. Well, it broke nicely for Los Dos on that counterattack.
I think we're only really going to catch the end there, but it looked as though it looked to be a ball popped through from Perez into the run of Jorgito Hernandez, who tried to find the ball into Williams. It was just good defensive work there from San Diego.
Nonetheless, a bright start here for Loyal. Brought down by Rubin, trying to restore order. They'll drop it for Elijah Martin, another LA Galaxy youth product. Featured way back in 2013 and 14 at the under-17, under-18 level before moving on to Los Dos, making 17 appearances here at Carson. Clementa. With that 3 at the back, and Martin strides into LA Galaxy territory. It's a real powerhouse, good engine on him.
I think LA is going to be much happier with this disciplined approach to defense. I thought last time that these two met, that Metcalf was doing a great job drawing players in, and like you said, it was Rubin and Berry that did some great work up top against an overmanned LA Galaxy defense.
They don't clear their lines. A little wobbly defensively for Los Dos. Well done by Vera, adapting nicely to a central role in midfield from his usual position, playing wide either on the left or the right. He's kind of the plug-and-play utility man for LA. Is that 3-5-2 setup, if you will, that can really be fluid and morph into a 3-4-3, or as you mentioned, a 4-4-2, San Diego, when they're on the back foot. You get the feeling, though, Gato, that they're kind of playing the way, finally, that Landon Donovan wants them to play.
Well, I think certainly the addition of the 3 players that he brought in Miguel Berry, Rubio Rubin, and Alejandro Guido, I think it's made things a lot easier for him. Certainly more competition within the group, and there have been some players that have really stepped up.
Left for Morgan Hackworth. Run comes to an end. It'll be a throw-in for Los Angeles. That 3-2 win against Las Vegas here last Tuesday, coming on the heels of that battering by San Diego. Such an important result, not just in terms of points in the race for the playoffs, but for the psyche of this young team. You start thinking about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teenagers in the starting 11 tonight, and certainly you don't know what to expect at times.
Yeah, I mean, it was interesting because when they went down 2-0 to Las Vegas, unfortunately the Lights haven't probably had the season that they would like to, but to find yourself down 2-0 so quickly, it was a lot of perseverance from the group, and you know, some massive goals from some top players in the second half. I just felt like it looked like a totally different team.
Here's another 17-year-old, Jalen Neal, who has immense potential. Highly rated by his boss, Junior Gonzalez, who told me he expects big things out of him. Perhaps not just domestically, but overseas potentially as well. Free kick here for the men in white.
The Galaxy pretty comfortable and build up here. They'll be patient with it. A little bit of cat and mouse game here. Nobody really wants to give up too much in behind the back. I think LA's maybe had the better of that first opportunity, but certainly possession has been in San Diego Loyal's advantage to this point.
Such a big game out here in Group B. San Diego having played 2 more games in Los Dos, 1 point clear on 22 of LA Galaxy 2. A little bit more pressure on the man in orange, perhaps, as Hernandez is bowled over. Free kick once again for Los Angeles, quickly taken and switched out for Gutierrez. Taking on Hackworth, early delivery to the far post, overhit for both Augie Williams and Jorge Hernandez. They'll push it wide now and floated right in his routine catch by Austin Guerrero.
Ontiveros, who serves that ball in, had an excellent assist on the first goal last week in the match versus Las Vegas. Ontiveros came out of that 2 position on the right wing and kind of eluded a number of players and just puts a perfect ball onto the run of Augustine Williams, who is happy to get another goal.
Raising a lot of eyebrows, perhaps some not thinking that Ontiveros had that in his locker, but it was right on a platter for Augie Williams, who is in the form of his life right now. He scored 9 goals, and I think you bring up a good point here with Ontiveros, part of that total football system for Junior Gonzalez. Broken now for Johnny Perez with a lot of green in front of him. A nice piece of individual defending back there from San Diego Loyal, but can't quite keep possession. Here's Jorge Hernandez on the edge of the box, a couple of feints and intercepted by San Diego's Elijah Martin. Perez, he'll have a go, and why not? And it wasn't assured goalkeeping by Austin Guerrero. It slipped through his hands, and it will be their first corner of the night for Los Dos.
Austin Guerrero tested there. The ball's kind of caught up in a little bit of counter press there from the Galaxy. As you saw, there was a nice little push there from Austin Guerrero to be able to turn that around the near post, but Johnny Perez doing his best to keep the goalkeeper honest.
Perez is a real live wire. This could present some difficulty. They brought up Neal and big Jesus Vasquez, the LA Galaxy 2 team captain, amongst the tall targets with Augie Williams. Hernandez with the in-swinging left foot delivery. They'll take it short for Perez. And Hernandez drives one in. took a deflection in, and coming away with it is San Diego's Colin Martin. Cuevas. Ontiveros. Well, they will push those fullbacks high here, Gato.
Yeah, and what they're looking for here is for Saldana to be able to pick this ball up underneath, and you'll see the two strikers trying to balance themselves off and be able to keep the ball away from Saldana. They've done a good job, but it's just difficult to keep it up for an extended period of time. But here's Cuevas out here on the left side.
Wonderful take from Cuevas, trying to float it over the top for Williams. Couldn't quite bring it down. It's on for Hernandez. Closed down by Morad. Here's Perez now for Los Angeles, supported by Omar Ontiveros, who drives one across. The low header from Martin, only as far as the feet of Mauricio Cuevas. Camping out inside the San Diego half is the LA fullback.
It's been much better here from LA Galaxy in terms of possession. It's been a little bit of a counterpunch. As you mentioned earlier in the match, San Diego Loyal did seem as though they were having the run of it, but in the past 5 minutes, it does seem as though LA's been able to get a hold of the ball. You've seen some dangerous play in those wide spaces, and there have been some dangerous balls into the box, but San Diego's been robust defensively, and looking forward to seeing how this shakes out over the next 15 minutes here.
Well, indeed, much more productive, a brighter start than what we saw 2 weeks ago when these two last met. Statistically speaking, it kind of told the story as well. San Diego putting 6 shots on target. LA really not offering up much, just putting 1 on frame. Not much to do on the day for John Kempen, who is not in the 11. Had to exit Saturday's proceedings 8 minutes from time, and unable to go tonight. Ostos behind Gutierrez now, just on the edge of the box, taking on the likes of Metcalf. The cross is in, but the flag is up for the offside against Augie Williams.
Gutierrez finds the ball in that wide left channel and did a pretty good job of getting that ball lofted. It looked as though Augustine Williams had drifted a little bit offside. You'll see him sit towards the end line here and come back on sides, but I like the way that Gutierrez is able to create that space for him, lofts in a nice little ball, but in the end, Austin Guerrero is well positioned, snatches it down and takes the free kick.
Well, Los Dos, after a brighter start from San Diego, settling in nicely. Carelessly given away as Vasquez claims it hits the referee. Something you don't see a lot of these days. So I'll have a word in the new ruling. It is a drop, but they'll let it go. Saldana. Part of the under-17 setup for the United States in the past. Part of that CONCACAF championship team in 2019 that actually ended up losing out to Mexico and one Efrain Alvarez.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, Alejandro Guido has played for the U17s, the U18s, the U20s, the U23, a lot of youth national team players out there. I think it says a lot about how the development pathway has really kind of changed within the United States. Such a great opportunity for these players to be playing in a USL championship set up rather than, you know, that Sunday morning reserve league that we used to have within MLS.
For those of us of a certain age, remember those days. It's interesting, though, you bring up a larger point, too. The approach, the purpose of these two organizations is very different. Of course, LA very much predicated on developing youth talent and perhaps trying to see it progress to the senior team at the MLS level. This is a San Diego team with a little bit more experience in their ranks.
Absolutely. I mean, if you think about the number of players on there that have some, you know, professional experience. I mean, Rubin's obviously been loaned out from Cholos down to Dorados in Mexico. We've got players on loan from LAFC. I mean, I just think it's a real pleasure to see the contrast. I don't think that our club would ever want anything different in terms of, you know, what the experience is like playing against these grown professionals.
It's definitely taken a paradigm shift under the tutelage of Junior Gonzalez in his first full season in charge after taking over midway through last year's campaign. Wholesale changes about. Hackworth, meanwhile, for Loyal, trying to find his way past Ontiveros to no avail. It's been tough sledding after what was a good start for San Diego. Throw in here to Los Dos.
I think that you can see that they're having a little bit more difficulty playing into the two forwards at this point. I thought that, you know, 2 weeks ago, or the last time that these two met, it was fairly direct. It became a little bit of a physical battle, but on the numerous occasions tonight, you've seen Jesus Vasquez step into the midfield and win some balls. And it looks like San Diego Loyal is going to have to be a little bit more patient with their build-up and a little bit more effective.
Adams now links up with Berry, who has a go, and what a hit it was, flashing wide of Abraham Romero. He's a big, strong target man, Miguel Berry. He burned him twice the last time. This time, though, coming close, but not quite close enough.
On this rebound, you'll see the entry pass into Berry. Berry's able to kind of shake that out there. You know, this is a player that was the semifinalist for the MAC Award. This is a top-level player. He's been able to find goals. He scored 2 goals against in the past matchup, and now we're in a situation where he's creating a really dangerous opportunity, open look from about 20 yards out.
And sublime turn and take as well. It's the Mac Herman Trophy, pretty much the Heisman Trophy for NCAA collegiate soccer players. Berry, born in Barcelona, moved to the U.S. at the age of 8. Seen his career blossom stateside. Here's Gutierrez running headstrong into Colin Martin, and Rubin will drop deeper. Didn't quite see Gutierrez there, but Loyal able to win it back. See a little bit of a higher press from Los Angeles. Rubin did really well to keep it in, but only as far as Jalen Neal. Not the best of distribution from the young teenager, and it's Alejandro Guido who's brought down in full flight right in front of referee William Hoffman. He's going to have a chat with the 17-year-old.
At the end of the day, I think he'll happily take his yellow and have everybody back behind the ball. He plays an entry pass that gets lost, steps into the midfield, misses a challenge, and you think that the LA Galaxy defense was in dire straits with a really robust San Diego Loyal attack coming their way, and a foul from Jalen Neal slows things down, gives them an opportunity to set, but from about 40 yards away, I'm not sure how worried that Abraham Romero is with a direct shot, but it certainly is. Here's Jalen Neal just pulling down the attacking player there.
Guido indeed a handful. Neal perhaps trying to atone for his mistake. His second booking of 2020. Now in his 9th appearance and 8th start.
That's actually pretty amazing. 2 cards for a center back in 9 matches.
So standing over it is Charlie Adams, the 26-year-old from England. It's a real strong left foot. He'll curl one out. Neal first to it and swept to safety by Cuevas. Perez trying to help it on for the counter, but pressure kept alive by Martin now. The diagonal for Miguel Berry, and he can't bring it down. But a little help from Metcalf. It sets Berry on his way, shakes it to the right, pulls it back. Romero gets a hand in. Scary moments back there for LA Galaxy 2.
It's a nice save there from Romero, but it's very good work here down the right side. Miguel Berry once again gets to the end line, looking for the cross, the cutback. Abraham Romero is able to get 2 hands to it, parries it. Fortunately for him, the ball's cleared out towards that right side of the LA Galaxy defense.
Yeah, certainly to the layman, Romero captures the imagination. He's been very impressive. What do you make of the LA Galaxy 2 goalkeeper?
You know, he's a player that you want to cheer for. You know, he's somebody that, you know, has paid his dues. He's been within our academy. He's gone away to Mexico. He's come back. He backed up Eric Lopez, who I think has done extremely well in the past 18 months. And so just waiting for these guys, but you're cheering for him all the time. And I think he's had some successes. It's led to confidence. It comes up with some important saves at the right time. And I also think he's a real leader within this group.
Provides the steady hands. That's why he's been selected to the Mexico under-21 setup. Vera, though, steers it straight to Colin Martin. And needless mistake made by the Galaxy. Elijah Martin pushes it for Hackworth. They poked the bear a few times, San Diego. Still no goals here. Midway through the first half. Happy to have you along on ESPN Plus. Christian Miles alongside former LA Galaxy goalkeeper Kevin Hartman. Still very much a part of the setup here at Carson.
Been kind of back and forth, huh?
Yeah, bright start for San Diego, but Junior Gonzalez has gotten his boys back into it. A victory tonight, and Junior and Los Dos will overtake San Diego in that second spot. Remember, the top 2 spots in each group qualify for the USL Championship playoffs. And it is neck and neck. Phoenix on 26 points, having played 13 games. San Diego on 22. And LA tied with OCSC on 21 points, having played 1 less game than everybody in the group. The tiebreaker being victories, which LA holds currently over Orange County. And it's Barry now is broken free. Nicely defended by Neal, who showed his class. Hernandez. Good 2-man game with Ivan Gutierrez.
Seems as though it comes out here to Gutierrez and hasn't really been able to evolve. There have been a number of times that Cuevas has tried getting around, but it has ended there fairly regularly. I did mention that he's got some good service into the ball, but you've seen a lot more down this left side. Johnny Perez maybe not as much down that right side in transition. I know that speed can kill, so we'll see how that looks going forward. But San Diego Loyal continues to start to develop this process. You've seen them have a shot that ended in a save there from Romero.
Long hopeful ball, but easily corralled by Abraham Romero. 2 clean sheets this season. That's coming, one of those against San Diego back in July, as Cuevas is brought down, and Rubin arguing the case here, but no doubt about not much argument, and as Martin came in. So Colin Martin is shown the yellow card. That'll be his 7th this season. And due to the rule changes here in USL, the 8th card warrants suspension, not the 5th as usual. Them's the rules in 2020, however, as Landon Donovan, San Diego head coach, pleads his case.
In full regalia.
A little bit of that Ziggy scarf look. Looking very dapper, I might add, and really looking the part in his new role.
It's good to see Landon back at the Dignity Health Sports Park.
Still a strange sight. Not in those Galaxy colors and lining up as a member of the opposition, but a chance to be a part of a great project down in San Diego. Andrew Vasilidis, of course, the club chairman, putting together quite a squad in their first season of existence. It's been a dream that has finally been achieved. Vasquez now for Gutierrez, floating in between the lines. He's done well, but nice piece of skill that time from Martin to win it back. The distribution not of the highest order from Guerrero, and it's corralled easily in central midfield by Saldana. Galaxy man gets squeezed and a turn of direction from Rubin to find Guido. Support from Metcalf, and that's a dangerous ball in no man's land. It's on for Augie Williams, and how about the intervention that time from San Diego's Tarek Morad.
Looks as though San Diego Loyal is in pretty good control. Just a little bit of an errant pass there, and I think Austin Guerrero is going to be pretty excited just to have the LA Galaxy 2 on the sideline taking the throw.
Landon continues to state his case. Here's Vera. Hernandez. Tight quarters. This is where Los Dos excel, and Cuevas' cross deflects into the arms of Guerrero. Guerrero making just his second appearance, last featuring for San Diego back in August 22nd in that home loss, 3-1 to Reno, 1868.
I'm sure Guerrero's pretty excited to hop back in goal. He's had a couple opportunities to make some routine saves and find the flow within the game, so it's been a good start for Austin.
And quite the contrast, an established veteran. He's 31 years of age. And has played in Reno in the USL and also down in Panama with Alianza. Oddly enough, it was Kempen coming off, as I mentioned, in the 82nd minute on Saturday in Phoenix, replaced by Jake Finlayson as Guido locates Berry. However, Guerrero gets the nod tonight. Hackworth working on this left-hand side. Adams tries to slide one through and can't get past Jorge Hernandez. It's a good spine, a good resilience right now about this Los Dos group of kids. Gutierrez. Well-weighted ball, nicely won back by Adams, wearing the armband tonight.
Excellent challenge there from Adams.
Real high line we're seeing from Loyal. It's kind of been their modus operandi this season. Elijah Martin for Colin Martin. Well-weighted, flag is down. Metcalf, the cross at the far post, a strong header in time from, I believe it was Alejandro Guido. Couldn't put it on target.
Nice service into the box. Good ball. See its shape here away from Abraham Romero. Ontiveros is up late. I believe that is that Rubin? Oh, actually it's Guido.
And it's Guido rising.
Guido must be have switched sides there to have found himself out there on the left wing looking for a header at the back post.
Well, as per the norm here in the resumption of USL Championship play, a hydration break, perhaps, even though that the temperatures don't really warrant it. But get your thoughts on an interesting first half an hour. It's been balanced, and both sides have had good moments.
Yeah, it's been a little bit of a chess match. I think both teams are going to be happy with the way that they've defended. You know, there have been moments of possession for both teams. I would say that probably the Loyal have had the better of it. LA Galaxy is going to have opportunities in transition. You saw that a number of times. And really, San Diego Loyal has the ability through possession to get chances, as you saw just before the break right there.
And Landon Donovan conferring, just making a couple of switches from the team that really has been on a tear. We mentioned that they scored 8 goals in their last 3 games. It's as many as they'd scored in the entire season beforehand. We talked about the inclusion and the addition of players like Guido, Rubio Rubin, as well as Miguel Berry. But, you know, Landon Donovan, what do you make of his tactical acumen? And Landon Donovan, the manager, we know about how great he was as a player, but what about his managerial skills?
Well, I mean, I think you're talking about somebody who has seen the game at the highest level, obviously, but you're also talking about somebody that has a good eye for things. And I mean, I just, you know, from the announcement, the name, how they go about like trying to find players from the vicinity, even the gentlemen that they've added to the team have been kids that are, you know, even like Tijuana and like just that neck of the woods. I think that has some real value to it. And so you see the way that they've added the sponsors, then you watch the way they play. It's fluid. I think he was able to add 3 players. The 3 players have been impact players for him. And you can tell that when he got that opportunity that he really has kind of raised the level of the entire organization. And you can't really ask for more, you know. And so, but I also, like I said, I think it's really cool that somebody allowed him to bring in 3 players like that mid-season, and they were so impactful.
He's the executive vice president of soccer operations and an owner. He just has to open up his own checkbook, right?
There you go.
I'm sure it's not as simple as that, but making some real astute decisions. Landon Donovan, this club has a real local feel to it. It's brought in players, you mentioned, San Diego-based players like this man, Austin Guerrero, is part of the fabric of the San Diego community, even though he is 31 years of age. Getting a chance to play in front of his hometown crowds, when crowds do come back. And a lot of the other players from this local area
I think Landon's done a good job of finding talented players, finding what that balance is, because it's not all, you know, just San Diego natives. I mean, there's some other top professionals sprinkled in there, whether that's Metcalf or, you know, I think that probably Charlie Adams is one of those guys that are real difference makers for that group.
And Metcalf and Adams, the English influence, well represented in midfield. So play resumes. Over the head, it's a mistake, perhaps, but mopped up nicely at the back by Clementa. Augie Williams just getting goal side. Hasn't had much of a sniff tonight, Williams, but the way he's playing right now, if you're San Diego, you don't want to give him that chance. Augie, of course, scoring the brace 8 days ago in that comeback win over Las Vegas Lights.
Got the assist as well, right?
And a role to play in all three. All right. Hackworth did well to keep it in. Ontiveros underneath, and Martin will knot it as far as Saldana. Vasquez attempting to pick out Gutierrez, who brings down Metcalf in the process, and it'll be a free kick here for the visitors.
Well, you can see Junior Gonzalez is doing his best to try to pin Metcalf back. You see Ivan Gutierrez continuing to try to receive the ball and get at that left side of the attack. It's pretty outweighed in terms of the number of times that Johnny Perez has had the ball at his feet down that wing, and so you wonder if it's not part of the method.
Yeah, speaking with Junior, told me, you know, he wants his team to dictate the tempo, play a little bit quicker than they did the last time they met, and once again, referee going to the pocket without hesitation.
Appeared as though Cuevas might have shown the bottom of his boot here. At least that's what the center official is insinuating by taking his hand and showing the palm and acting like there's a stomp in that direction.
Let's take a look at it here. Yep, he showed his studs.
Very similar reaction to the reaction that we saw with Julian Araujo with the first team the other day.
Perhaps without the extra commentary. Second booking of the season for Cuevas. Second man booked tonight for Los Angeles. Metcalf on the free kick, the target. Played up top for Martin. Nice hold-up play, trying to lay it off for Alejandro Guido. Here's Barry now on the back heel. Only as far as Vera, who did well backtracking. And here's Williams. He's renowned for his hold-up play. And he did well enough for LA to get the throw in.
Yeah, I think Augustine obviously did a great job there holding that ball up. He's waiting for that support. That support becomes an importance of the transition.
So Bandy's won it. Down goes Vera. Plays it for Rubio Rubin, who can't find his way past the 17-year-old Cuevas. Oh, and it's a late challenge here from Clementa. And the referee's going to go to the book now for the fourth time tonight. And Clementa will receive his fifth yellow of the campaign. The Montenegrin fullback.
Hey, Barry, good shit, dog. Let's go on that. Pick up, boys.
See the replay here. Augie kind of lays the ball sideways. Gutierrez is trying to join in, touches the ball beyond, leaps over, and unfortunately for Clementa, all he can do is really drag Gutierrez down.
There is Clementa. A couple of appearances for the Galaxy senior team in 2018. A couple appearances for Los Dos that very same year. And then managed to move on to Sacramento Republic before landing with San Diego.
This is not really where Junior wants Saldana. I don't think playing that center back role. You'd like to see him a little bit higher up the field, dribbling, looking to lay the ball off and interact a little bit higher. Has had a good match. I just would think that he would want to find the ball a little bit in more advanced positions.
Banny dropping deep into his own half, can't win possession. Neal, Galaxy central defender, and they'll send it all the way back to Romero. This is Vasquez. Galaxy looking for their fourth home win here at Dignity Health Sports Park. After victories over Sacramento and 2 against Las Vegas Lights.
Big one. Imra, you're right. Imra, you're right.
Hernandez trying to wheel around.
Battle.
Charlie Adams didn't quite work out the way he envisioned. Martin getting stuck in, and Hernandez just picks his pocket. Down goes Martin, and down goes Rubin.
Quite a number of players from the Galaxy there centrally. Little swarm type counter press to get the ball back. Hernandez tried to throw the step over. San Diego Loyal player not falling for it.
Hernandez playing underneath Augie Williams. We've seen him in a variety of roles. Is that one in which he can excel?
Yeah, I think that he usually does a pretty good job of balancing off Augustine Williams. I think he's continuing to gain confidence throughout the season. I thought that probably the second half of last match was the best I've seen in a while, but he did score an excellent goal in that was it the Las Vegas match? I think it might have been the winner, actually, or the second. But yeah, Hernandez has been a contributor for the last number of years. It's hard to believe he's only 19 years old still.
Youth shall be served, that's for sure. Doesn't celebrate his 20th birthday until the 8th of November. Meanwhile, the well-paid ball, and Neal comes in, brings down Adams, and the referee arriving onto the scene. And did it come outside of the area is the question. Certainly didn't appear to be the case. Let's have another look. No doubt about it.
Jalen Neal's just late to the tackle there. It's a nice little push from Charlie Adams. The vet baits the younger player in and pushes it towards the end line. Jalen Neal lucky not to get a second yellow there.
Exactly, and that would have put him down to 10 men despite conceding the penalty. So up steps Alejandro Guido to the spot. A decisive moment, 5 minutes from time. No, it will be Rubio Rubin. And he'll step up on the stutter step and sends the keeper the wrong way. And Rubio Rubin grabs his 5th goal of the campaign, the first tonight, 5 minutes from halftime. And the Loyal in control here in the first half.
Oh, Rubio Rubin. Not sure if he came all the way to a stop on this penalty kick or not, but Abraham Romero was almost out to the 6-yard line with the feint. See him come to speed, slows down considerably. It's amazing that with all of the limitations that are putting on goalkeepers this year, that they're allowing field players to do that. Certainly doesn't seem like it's a run-up that should continue to exist 3 years from now.
Almost of Luis Figo proportions. You see the savvy from the man who's got 7 caps with the U.S. men's national team, last of which came back in 2014. No chance. Meanwhile, from the spot for Romero and calmly slotted away by Rubio Rubin, who's coming on like gangbusters. As we mentioned, scored in his San Diego debut here just a couple of weeks ago. And would you believe it, Rubin already with 5. What a run.
Your reigning USL Player of the Week.
There's a guy that was, as you mentioned, in the Cholos system, was on loan to Dorados down in the 2nd division of Mexico.
Second, be aware.
Somehow that type of signing, Gato, has Landon Donovan written all over it.
Got to have the contacts to be able to put the players on the park. Can't even imagine how many different emails and contacts that these coaches and general managers are receiving on a daily basis for players that are interested in coming aboard. To be able to sift through that and come up with 3 players that Landon's come up with in this case has been pretty instrumental to their success.
Hackworth trying to pull it back for Barry. Couldn't quite control it. Is a little bit behind the big Spanish-born striker and sent to safety by Saldana. And if this were the 80s or the 90s, I'd say Landon Donovan probably has the biggest Rolodex of any player come coach in the United States right now, as well as Canada. Such a great career as a player. Spent 11 years here in Carson, winning 4 MLS Cups. And represented the Stars and Stripes at 3 World Cups as well. But it's Hernandez turning into Clemente, who did well to hold his ground. Rubin closed down by Vera, and a throw-in in front of the San Diego bench in the final minute plus added on time.
Let's go. It's fine, man.
Kind of a response will we see? Will it finish with a flourish here for Los Dos, who've had their cage rattled despite some good moments? Not enough of them for this man. Here's Augie Williams. Just loses possession as he tries to pull his sombrero.
Yes.
Cuevas rises. Colin Martin. Nice exit ball for Guido on the no look for Rubio Rubin, who squares it. Out comes Romero, who loses it. It's opened up for Hackworth, and Berry will chip the keeper and send it over the bar. Dangerous moment back there, and Abraham Romero not exactly covering himself in glory.
Ball's mishandled there at the top of the box. It rolls outside. Probably didn't want to progress too much further, and the ball falls to Miguel Berry, who's probably going to wish that he had that back.
It's a tough situation for a keeper. You don't want that momentum, as you mentioned, you know all too well, to carry you over the line. 3 minutes will be added on. Rubin and company looking for more. This is Hackworth popping up on the left, tries to drag it back into the path of Los Angeles' Adrian Vera, and sent away in search of Perez, who's cut a real quiet figure on the right-hand side for Los Dos this evening.
Yeah, certainly there have been times where you would hope that the transition could be a little bit more effective, and it's slowed up at paces throughout the midfield. Johnny Perez hasn't gotten balls in isolated places like you would really like to, but I think probably you have to give a lot of credit to Elijah Martin and to Rick Morad over there on that left side of the defense.
Coming up at halftime, we'll take a look at some of the other scores around USL and have the latest headlines, plus highlights and stats. All that coming up here at the break. Oh, and robbed of possession is Hernandez, sneaking in behind Colin Martin, but referee sparing the San Diego holding midfielders blushes there, so to speak, and a free kick for the Loyal.
A little slow to get up here.
Just nipped at the heels of Colin Martin. Spent some time with the Minnesota United setup.
A little bit of a stomping motion. I'm not sure that he got too much of them, but from the reaction, it seemed pretty authentic. So, official right on top of it.
Guido, Hackworth, first time ball, not a bad one here. Rubin couldn't get to it. It may sit up for San Diego as it's tracked down by Metcalf. Well read by Hernandez, and the favor is returned by Martin. On the other side, free kick Los Angeles. What appears to be the final minute of the first half. It's been an absorbing contest. No real decisive dominance by either team despite the scoreline. And Romero will give it a ride. Knocked down from Romero, or rather Williams, to find Hernandez. Drops to the feet of Omar Ontiveros, operating at right fullback, and he goes off on a nice little run, tries to play the early ball, intercepted by Morad, and cleared away off the head of Emra Clemente. That's going to do it. 45 minutes in the books. A little good, a little bad. Your thoughts, Kevin Hartman?
Yeah, I think it's a fair spot to be frank. You know, I think San Diego Loyal did a good job with possession. I thought that LA Galaxy 2 probably has some things that they're going to look to adjust in the second half, and looking forward to another 45.
All right, so halftime here at Dignity Health Sports Park in Carson, California reads the LA Galaxy 0, San Diego Loyal SC 1.
This is LA.
Esto es LA.
Ciudad de Los Ángeles.
This is our city.
Esta es nuestra casa.
Since 1996.
Since 1996.
Esta es nuestra
This
familia.
is our family.
Familia.
Our club. Supporting each other.
Supporting our team. Champions. Here.
Ahora.
Siempre. LA.
But a good ball to a good area, and it's a goal! Sebastian Lletget, he did it again! Headed in, Daniel Steres. A nice touch from Pavard. Still Christian Pavard! First Corona! Oh boy! It's a good chance for Alvarez! His first MLS goal! He's got an open goal! Score! What a beauty! It's fantastic! Sensational! Fantastic! Any way you slice it. This one he puts away, fires and scores! What an unbelievable strike. Oh, what a goal! There's the shot, it scores! Attacking, shooting, and scoring!
Oakland. The town. A world-class city where it's not just about where you're going, but it's also where you come from. See, here, there's always room at the top. Where sky's the limit, but roots help keep you grounded. And this is town business. If you know, you know. Some might say it's rough around the edges, but we all know that the flavors are in the margins. It's a family affair out here. It's all eyes on we. Hold it down for the people holding you up. These things matter to us.
It is let's go Oakland over and over and over again, where East Oakland and West Oakland meet.
Show the town love, and the town will love you back. Oakland, forever.
And welcome back to the Dig, the home of Los Dos, but LA Galaxy 2, nothing to sing about so far. Down a 0-0 here at the break against San Diego Loyal. And this game is big. This is why. Los Dos level on points with Orange County SC, having played 13 games. However, the first tiebreaker being victories. So LA finding themselves just adrift of San Diego on 25 points. So indeed a lot to play for here, Kevin.
Yeah, I mean, I think probably that this is a match that has 45 minutes to go. I don't think anybody's going to go ahead and count those points yet, but certainly squeaky bumhole time.
Yes, indeed. Let's take a look at some of the other scores. I like that. That's a good way to put it. Charlotte Independence and the Miami FC. Nothing going there. Hartford and Philly 1 apiece. Atlanta gets the best of NYRB 2. Indy 11 and St. Louis trading blows there. So those are some of the scores from out of town. Not exactly a super busy night in USL Championship. Let's check on some of the storylines making waves here. And MLS announced yesterday that the Galaxy schedule and broadcast details for the remainder of the 2020 MLS regular season campaign are out. Check them out on LAGalaxy.com. The Galaxy also launching the Together at Home collection, which does feature limited edition clothing collection release items. And of course, you can place your 2021 season ticket member deposit with a fully refundable deposit of only $100. Drop a C note and get the best seating. All right, it's halftime here. LA Galaxy 2. A lot of work to do down at the break to San Diego by 1. Stay with us.
This is LA.
Esto es LA.
Ciudad de Los Ángeles.
This is our city.
Esta es nuestra casa.
Since 1996.
Since 1996.
Esta es nuestra
This is
familia.
our family.
Familia.
Our club. Supporting each other.
Supporting our team. Champions. Here.
Ahora.
Siempre. LA.
But a good ball to a good area, and it's a goal! Sebastian Lletget, he did it again! Headed in, Daniel Steres. A nice touch from Pavard. Still Christian Pavard! Corona! Oh boy! It's a good chance for Alvarez! His first MLS goal! He's got an open goal! Score!
The scenes at the Dignity here. Dignity Health Sports Park, LA Galaxy 2 trailing a 0-0 to San Diego Loyal SC. Let's get to the highlights. Roll tape, folks. We've got a lot to look at. Galaxy starting a little bit shaky, but trying to come to life. They played their way back into it, and San Diego here, Gato, had a lot of good chances.
Yeah, I mean, I think probably the majority of the chances fell to San Diego Loyal. This one here, it's a nice little push there from Charlie Adams, and Jalen Neal's just always trying to catch up. And it's a great finish here. 1-0. You can see Abraham Romero about 3 yards out by the time the shot's taken. But I'm not real convinced that this game is over, though. I feel like this game has more in it.
Rubio Rubin getting the only goal of the match from the spot, and that is where we stand. So we'll see if there are any changes in store. The final 45 minutes coming up. Stay with us. The second half, LA Galaxy 2 and San Diego next.
This is LA.
Esto es LA.
Ciudad de Los Ángeles.
This is our city.
Esta es nuestra casa.
Since 1996.
Since 1996.
Esta es nuestra
This is
familia.
our family.
Familia.
Our club. Supporting each other.
Supporting our team. Champions. Here.
Ahora.
Siempre. LA.
But a good ball to a good area, and it's a goal! Steris. Nice touch from Pavone. Still Christian Pavone. Corona. Oh boy. It's a good chance for Alvarez. His first MLS goal. He's got an open goal. Score!
Welcome back to Car Seat, California, the home of LA Galaxy 2, but not exactly home sweet home, trailing a 0-0 thanks to a 41st minute penalty strike from Rubio Rubin of San Diego Loyal. Busy time of year. Now, we mentioned San Diego played a couple more games than LA Galaxy 2. Of course, tonight, and then that will be followed by one more game against Phoenix, the team they just beat in Phoenix. And that could be a very important fixture for Landon Donovan and the Loyal. We look at the way it shapes up for Los Dos, and they have to pay a visit to Las Vegas Lights FC coming up in the midweek, and then home to Orange County SC. And then once again finishing up at Phoenix Rising. It's not exactly easy street here. Some tricky fixtures.
Well, you're certainly expecting the fact that they have those 3 games left is going to be a little bit more impactful probably than the one that San Diego Loyal has against what is probably one of the strongest parts of this competition here in the Southwest. So, yeah, I would imagine that LA Galaxy 2 is excited about their chances here in the long run, but they need to try to button this thing up in the second half.
Yeah, of course, San Diego seeing themselves on 25 points, a lot to play for here. But the games in hand only matter if you can take maximum points, and that is where we stand. We talked about Group B. A lot of people have come out and said, especially Landon Donovan, this is the toughest group in all of USL, not just the Western Conference.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the level that San Diego's been playing at, I mean, that Phoenix Rising team has been solid, for the last number of years, the quality that they have there. And I think the surprise in this case would be the LA Galaxy 2 and kind of what they've been able to accomplish with the group they have on hand right now.
Well, as we mentioned, 5 teenagers in the starting lineup, a very young average age, less than 23. Had some experience. Abraham Romero had a couple of shaky moments in that first half, but overall your assessment here of the Los Dos goalkeeper through 45?
Yeah, no, I think it's been solid. I think that he's done a good job leading that group. I think that the Jalen got a little bit shaken up on the one play, and then giving up the penalty kick. We'll look to see how he reacts to that. But beyond that, it's been fairly solid on the defensive side of things. You do have a player like Bawa that could come in and be an impactful player here in the second half.
We'll see if Junior Gonzalez makes any changes. You talked about solid defensively. On the other side of things you're going forward, what are you looking for more from Los Angeles?
Yeah, I mean, I would think that probably here on the right wing, I think you probably need to see Johnny Perez get a little bit more active. I know he's a player that was away with the first team, and so he's one of those guys that you're looking to kind of plug in and be a real difference maker. And like you said, I thought it was a little bit quiet in the first half, but Johnny's the kind of kid that can, get out there and skip through some challenges and get some things on frame really quickly. He did have probably the most dangerous shot from an LA Galaxy player that was saved there by Austin Guerrero at the near stick.
So, some words of encouragement and a prescient piece of analysis from our man Kevin Hartman here is Junior Gonzalez, the head coach, making some changes, and it appears we're going to see a double switch, and it will be the Ghanaian defender Isaac Bawa getting set to come in alongside Alejandro Alvarado. He gets his first piece of action after being sent off here a couple of weeks ago against San Diego. So Alvarado comes in a central midfield role, and we'll see Bawa take up his spot along the back 4.
talked about Jalen Neal. We talked about the yellow and the little bit of indecisiveness on the penalty. It looks like his night's going to be done. You're bringing in a player in Bawa who is a seasoned veteran, somebody that's done some great things for the club.
And right off the bat, they try and get Perez involved. Well defended by Elijah Martin. Gets himself out of a tight spot and hits the deck. It'll be a free kick here.
Yeah, and I said in the first half, I thought Elijah Martin was probably one of the reasons that we hadn't heard a lot from Perez. I think he's done his role is to kind of sit on Perez, stay at home. That gives the flexibility to Jack Metcalf to get up the wing on the opposite side.
So Bawa slots in. Doesn't look as though there's going to be too much of a tactical shift. Hernandez playing underneath Augie Williams with Perez on the right, with Alvarado in there. It's going to push Vera out to the left-hand side where he is most comfortable. Multiveros getting stuck in. Vasquez has his pocket picked by the ubiquitous Morgan Hackworth, but LA comes away with it. Williams, the first touch of the game for Alvarado, only gives it away for Clementa. It's appear that Gutierrez has been the man sacrificed for Alvarado, as Vera will take up his spot on the left-hand side of midfield. And that really the same shape we've seen in the 4-2-3-1, if you will.
Pretty consistent with these styles of play within Junior Gonzalez's lineups.
There seems to be a lot of synergy between Junior Gonzalez, this Los Dos team, and Guillermo Barros Escaloto and the senior side, Kevin.
Yeah, I think that you're always looking to try to find, that type of connection. And I mean, all the work you do in the academy, all the work you do in the development side of things at this USL level, but it's nothing without that connection. And I think that Dennis DeClosa and Guillermo Barros Escaloto have done an excellent job of providing that carrot out there to dangle for the young players.
Yeah. Seen numerous former Los Dos players into the starting 11 in recent weeks, not just Ethan Zubak, but of course Efrain Alvarez making a name for himself recently this season. Even Julian Araujo, who had a handful of appearances for Los Dos. You can go turn back the clock for Daniel Steres and Nick DePew as well.
I think Nick DePew has probably been one of the bigger difference makers for that group. He's really added a level of consistency to the group.
Vasquez couldn't control with his first touch, only as far as Guido. Over on loan at the beginning of the month from LAFC. Good interception from Cuevas, who tries to set Augie Williams on his way. Really does have a good work rate, Augie Williams.
Shows up in good spaces at the right time. I think that's a nice connection to have. I think he does need support a little bit more quickly so that he can spin it. It can be a little bit more dangerous from an offensive perspective, but it is nice to have somebody that can slow the ball and hold it up like that.
Gives him that extra man in midfield, if need be, to keep possession. They'll go up and over the top now. Perez makes the run, but out comes Austin Guerrero, just to the edge of his box.
Nice little interchange there between Hernandez and Perez. Perez slides inside, make that run down the middle, and you saw the responsibility there from Hernandez to cover that left side of Hackworth's side.
Well won by Adams, distributing very well for Rubin. The goal scorer slips his way right past Cuevas now. Here's Colin Martin. Strong start to the second half from LA Galaxy 2. Elijah Martin for Guido. Guido is such a live wire. Rubin. Well closed down by Jorge Hernandez, who wins it back on LA's behalf.
This is where they need to keep it.
Up and over the top now, and it's a streaking Williams, and it's a 1v3 here. Augie Williams with a lot of work in front of him. Beats two defenders and fires, but ultimately drags it wide. Asking a lot of the big LA Galaxy 2 striker.
Well, that would have certainly been something magic. Like you said, he's gets a nice ball through. He holds it up. He's got 3 players to play into, and I think he ends up going through Clemente's legs there, drags the shot just a little bit wide of Guerrero's goal, but could have very easily have been the tying goal right there.
Clemente sends it up only as far as Guido. Near side for Elijah Martin. Cleverly slips past Johnny Perez. No changes for San Diego at halftime.
There, Boa, there. Hold your line, Boa. Hey, go on the left.
Morad.
Very similar start to the second half here. Kind of back and forth. Both teams trying to figure out that way to get in behind the defense.
Colin Martin up and over the top. It sits up for Betty. Tries to chip Romero. He is around. Drags it across the face of the 6-yard box before it's cleared away by Isaac Bawa. Romero came for it but didn't get it. They're right back at it as Rubin sends it over for Metcalf. The cross is in. Saldana gets ahead to it. It sits up here for Colin Martin. Galaxy making really unnecessary work of it and nearly cost them.
Nice little ball in over the top there. Had Romero kind of strung out. They were around him. If it wasn't for Bawa kind of tracking back to, and the wide angle there, might have had some difficulties.
Martin serving one up, cleared away by Cuevas. Saldana now. Alvarado unable to turn. He's muscled off of it by Colin Martin. It's a good spell this from Loyal.
Alex Alvarado's got to find the game pretty quickly. He's coming in here about 4 or 5 minutes into the game and have a little bit of difficulty with that pressure from that Loyal midfield.
Higher line and from LA than we've seen in most of the first half. Here's Vera dropping it back for Mauricio Cuevas. Big switch now for Perez. As the overlap of Ontiveros continues his run. Good support by the Galaxy 2 fullback, Hernandez. This is where they excel in those tight quarters. Perez puts it back onto his right. Tries to drop that shoulder on Martin, who's a tough customer to beat. Nice piece of individual defending from the San Diego defender.
Yeah, Elijah Martin for me has been class this evening. I thought that there was enough room there for Johnny Perez to kind of separate himself, and Elijah Wood does a great job of sliding his body in between Johnny and the ball and really just stands up and earns the foul.
Flicked down by Rubin, and Bawa will send it back to Romero. Loyal, of course, winners of 3 straight, looking for their 3rd consecutive win on the road. Wouldn't have said that about a month and a half ago. Augie Williams now supported by Hernandez, and a no-nonsense clearance by Martin, who comes sliding in. Saldana. Clever back heel from Ontiveros. And this Galaxy midfield starting to percolate right now. Here's Alvarado. Direct for Vera, nice turn, but the flag is up offside against Augie Williams.
Nice little interaction there. Good build-up play through the center portion of the field. Nice little ball slipped into Augustine Williams. Just can't toe that line enough to keep the offside flag down.
Well, some build-up play to be applauded. Just trying to string together consistent spells of passing and movement like that we just saw. And talking to Junior Gonzalez, you tell me, you know, with such a young group, that's always hard to come by, getting that consistent 90 minutes out of them. But it's coming together. Here's Colin Martin. Drop it back for Tarek Morad. Another one of those new signings who came in, joining at the beginning of the month. They're spending some time last with Tampa Bay Rowdies. And a valuable asset in the center of the park is Hernandez is brought down by Adams. Free kick for LA.
Colin Martin came through the DC United Academy, so he's had some good lessons within that group as well.
It's a good relationship, and looks to have struck up with Charlie Adams as Morad makes the clearance. Here's the aforementioned Martin, or Metcalf. Martin now 25 years of age.
Start to wonder at what point the Galaxy's going to start to counter press again. I thought they've actually been fairly good with their pressing, but certainly they're looking to transition into the spaces in behind the defense. And so see how Junior Gonzalez sorts out this last 35 minutes of the half.
Junior Gonzalez is making a great poker player. He doesn't give away too much. I even asked him, how are you going to approach this press? He says, well, could play high, could play low. They pass it back to the center half, yes, perhaps, but you'll see a lot in the middle third. I didn't know quite what to make of that, but
probably didn't want you calling Landon.
Well, unlike Landon, my so-called Rolodex isn't quite that big. Here's Morad trying to pick out Barry. An immense presence, Barry up there at 6'3". It's worked its way for Metcalf. Has a little space on the overlap, and Rubin fires into Bawa, who gets a foot in. Vera just loses his footing now. This is Colin Martin trying to serve one up, takes a deflection. Hackworth is onto it. If he can get to it, it can cause some problems. Drops it off for Adams, but just behind him, and Saldana collects.
Just seems like the Galaxy's done such a good job getting into this compact shape that when they win the ball, they just aren't really getting expansive. So the options are fairly limited in transition. So Augie maybe finds the ball at his feet, but where's the support? And after that support, where's that through run? And so that's one of the things it looks like they're kind of battling through. I mean, I think
well, Adams just mistimed his challenge there on Perez. Not much to argue against there, and he becomes the third man caution for San Diego, joining Colin Martin and Emra Clementa in the books. Can't argue against this one, can you?
No, nice little layoff there. Perez reaches for it, but San Diego Loyal's done a good job of making things choppy in the midfield. It's been really difficult sometimes to get those transitions started, and they've been able to retain possession pretty quickly, or regain possession pretty quickly, San Diego, because the possession side of it from an LA Galaxy perspective hasn't really been where they've been most dangerous. It's been mostly through these one ball slip through or in transition, and so look to see if they can continue to do that. But with San Diego Loyal breaking things up the way that they've done, it's been difficult.
Third yellow card, by the way, of the season against Charlie Adams. Galaxy is not quite in sync from midfield to the front. Trying to find that harmony. It's proven elusive. This is Mauricio Cuevas, the dead ball specialist, and he used that lovely right foot to pick out Vera, but he mistimed his run, and he was in the offside position even if he had gotten to it. So higher press here from the Galaxy, and Williams forcing it clear from Guerrero. Good flick from Rubin. Isaac Bawa, the halftime sub. Oh, and Hernandez gets his pocket picked, but fortuitously it falls nicely for Saldana. Here's Ontiveros. Good movement. There's something brewing now. Here's Hernandez, tries to put it on that left. Well read defensively. Experienced defending from Tarek Morad. And the counterattack is on. Berry, he's onside, met headstrong by Jesus Vasquez, who dives in, and he'll be cautioned for this. Came in with full force.
Perry's been a real handful. Jesus Vasquez is kind of isolated out there, wants to kind of end the play and get some support. Does so, but Barry's been an impactful player tonight for San Diego Loyal for sure.
He presents a conundrum for a defender. He's not just one of those big, strong guys who will knock you around. He's got a nice touch to him. He's had some good takes. Above average technique, that's for sure.
Yeah, pretty mobile for a 6'3" guy.
Shades of Peter Crouch, perhaps. Confirmation of the Vasquez yellow card, standing over the free kick. his Crouch's countryman, Charlie Adams. This will sit up nicely on the left for him. Clementa's come forward, Berry amongst the targets as well. Good delivery, out comes Romero, it's cleared away. And it's on now for Augie Williams. He's got space in front of him. Runners in Hernandez and Perez. Ontiveros. He's trying to play a little bit more direct, and once again, Augie Williams is in the offside position.
They've had Augie kind of making these runs down into the corner, and the ball's not coming. He's just not maybe recycling as quickly as he could, but it's also kind of come in one after the other. I'm not sure that Ontiveros gave him much of a chance there.
They're varying their attacking approach, not just keeping it on the deck and playing it in those tight quarters. Trying to go over the top at times, pick out Williams. Williams up there playing that lone striker role, always a big ask for any center forward. Morad. Overhit by Elijah Martin, and only too happy to oblige is Alvarado, and he sets Perez on his way in full flight now, and he's got Williams with him. He'll need a good cross, but it's rather routine back there for San Diego. Here's Metcalf, did well to dodge the challenge from Cuevas. And Bawa steps in to win possession for Los Angeles. This is Adrian Vera. As Cuevas on the overlap here. Pulls it back, slips around one defender, scoops it into the area. Perez! It's off by Augie Williams, who tried to sneak it in at the near post. They nearly had the equalizer. And that's as close as the Galaxy have come here in the second half, and the flag up ultimately.
I think Augustine Williams might have tried to avoid this because he thought it was on offside. Oh, no. I'm not sure exactly what happened from that angle, but you see Johnny Perez, the ball pops across, he gets something on frame. Augustine Williams tried to redirect it from like about 2 yards out, but there did happen to be a loyal defender back there to clear it. So a little bit of a pinball type thing there in the 18 for San Diego Loyal.
Trying to work the old taquito at the near post, maybe, I don't know, flick it in, but you read my mind. Is tough to see the method to the madness. Meanwhile, Guido has a hard charging Rubin in front of him, but nicely read back there by Bawa. He really does a lot of the dirty work back there, Bawa, and it's hard to argue against the tandem of he and Jesus Vasquez. Cuevas on the front foot.
Come on, Guido, get the fucking ball. Lord.
Guido trying to go up and around to no avail. Just past the hour mark. The Galaxy still chasing this one after that 41st minute strike from Rubio Rubin on the penalty spot. Perez on hooks to the defense, across to the far post, and forcing Metcalf to concede the corner. Good piece of skill from Perez.
I think Perez's probably more lethal foot is on his left. You can see that Hackworth is back there trying to keep him on his right side, but Perez showing that he has the ability to knock the ball to the back post. Hernandez was there lingering. Nice little header by the San Diego defense to get that out for a corner kick.
Just the second corner of the evening, Cuevas to take it. It's a real sweet right foot. He scored 4 times from dead balls, more than any other player in USL Championship. Let's take a look at that run from Perez.
If the pressing high was here going to be.
Not sure how much Hernandez was aware of that. So the San Diego player will receive medical treatment here. Los Dos having made those 2 substitutions, and a chance now to confer briefly with our head coach Junior Gonzalez as we approach the midpoint of the second half.
Players are getting spoiled with these water breaks.
It's going to be a tough one to readjust to. The English Premier League doing away with that and the extra substitutions. It'll be interesting to see if a lot of the other World's leagues will follow suit. Still under the 5 substitute rule implemented by IFAB. Cuevas, Perez, right off the training ground, sends one in. Pretty routine catch there for Austin Guerrero.
Yeah, the first portion of it looked very decent. You definitely have to get somebody across that near space. You could kind of see Junior Gonzalez a little bit flummoxed about how that kind of worked itself out, but certainly the quality of the first portion of that corner kick was on, but well defended by San Diego.
Saldana for Perez. Teenage connection now, and Perez with space enters the box. No way past the experienced Elijah Martin. Adam Saldana for Los Angeles. Just looking for that extra bit of polish inside the box. Ontiveros lifts one up, and underneath the header is Vera. It's Augie Williams, goes for this spectacular overhead. Had he connected, though, it would have been for naught, as the flag was up again here in the second half against the Los Dos striker.
Nice lofted ball into the box here. Well won, but Augustine Williams can't pull himself back on side up there around the top of the 6-yard box. A little bit adventurous with the bicycle kick there.
Venture to say he wouldn't have attempted that a couple of months ago. It's the state of his confidence, which is sky high right now. In my estimation, playing the best football of his career as Hackworth hits the deck. Free kick for San Diego. Referee William Hoffman having some words here with Jorge Hernandez.
Not sure if he liked the effort there, but Hackworth probably not too excited about coming back onto the field from being injured to almost be injured again.
Quickly taken. Vera. It's not quite good enough. We've seen a lot of that this evening. Just that final move and that connection between the lines, specifically midfield to the attack, just hasn't quite been there. Lovely skill from Rubin to keep it in, only as far as Bawa, and it's going to be a foul against San Diego.
It's been amazing to see Bawa come in. He's perhaps played, 20, 30, 40 minutes, but this is really the first time that he's going to get in for a full half since he's coming back from a groin injury.
And a bit of a hernia problem. It required a little surgery, but he's back. He's so good in his individual battles. Cuevas operating at left fullback, trying to play it down that inside channel, and a nice clearance from Emra Clementa to Guido. Adams nipped from behind by Hernandez, and this is as much for persistent infringement as anything. He was just warned by referee William Hoffman.
Certainly didn't do a very good job keeping a low profile for a few minutes. He was right back after it, and to be fair, these Junior Gonzalez's midfielders are going to pressure, and I think that slows it down in transition, but as you said, it was probably a little bit too recent after the conversation with the center official.
4th yellow of 2020 for the 19-year-old Hernandez. Wants to play central. He's been utilized on the left side as well. Junior Gonzalez saying he needs a little bit more from Hernandez if he wants to play in that central number 10 role. You hear remarks like that, Kevin, and what comes across when a coach says, hey, I want more from a player in that number 10 role?
I think that if you're the 10, you're getting into the box, you're creating, you're kind of back and forth in terms of what your effort is on both sides of the ball. I think that certainly there's been times throughout the year that Hernandez has been a real impact player, and I think that's what you're really looking for. I think it's so special to get to wear that 10 jersey. So, you know, just alluding to it, there's almost like this perception that you have to be doing something that maybe a little bit different than anybody else can do.
You also got to do your share of the dog work, as they say. A bit of tracking back there and winning balls higher up the pitch. There'll be a throw here for LA. This is Vasquez, one of the 4 Los Dos players booked this evening. Vera. And spell a possession this on the high line held by the Loyal. Once again, careless. Comes right off of the feet of Perez, and a throw for San Diego. Tough to break down, San Diego. Had their problems scoring goals earlier this season, but defensively it's been very good. 5 shutouts already this season. Only allowed 14 goals, good enough for coming into today. 10th best in the entire league. Tiveros colliding. And this is where things get a little bit heated. Tiveros claiming he just wants to get the throw going. Just tosses Elijah Martin aside. Referee needs to get a hold of this game.
A little heated there on the near side.
Kevin, it's an I-5 Classico, right?
Exactly. This is the new thing here in USL is the I-5 Classico. I like it. They're going to have to probably come up with some. Put Landon's marketing team on it.
Leave it to the fans in the survey, right?
Yeah, let them vote for it. But
right.
No, I'm not sure why this is continuing. I don't know if he wants them to shake hands or what. It didn't seem like it was that big of a thing. We need to get on with this game.
Silly, silly, silly. Free kick for LA. Altiveros given the booking. No such harm done for Elijah Martin, who is definitely doing some delaying of the game, that's for sure. 73rd minute, San Diego out in front to 0-0. So far, Los Dos have not had an answer. Not the best of deliveries from Altiveros, who slipped on the free kick, making it easy work in the back. Clemente robbed a possession by Altiveros, who did really well, but couldn't find the feet of Perez, and it will come out on the near side right in front of the Galaxy bench for a San Diego throw. And Guido very slow to get up. This match here in the last 5 minutes has been more stop than start.
Looks like we have a few substitutions coming on here for San Diego Loyal.
Let's see what Landon has up his sleeve. You know, there's 2 types of managers, the tracksuit manager and the suit manager. I think Landon, obviously more of the latter. Guido trying to walk it off, and you're right, we're gonna see some big changes coming, and it looks to be a triple switch. We'll get confirmation here in a moment.
Well, you've spoken a lot about San Diego Loyal's defense and how effective they've been. They really have been solid. I know that I've probably mentioned Elijah Martin's name a number of times, but Jack Metcalf on both sides of the ball has been good. Hackworth has come back and helped, so it hasn't just been the back that have done it there. They're a unified group for sure.
Well, as a lot of managers will tell you, defense starts from the top. So we'll see the switch. Carlos Alvarez will step in, as will the striker Ben Spencer. Carlos, of course, the big brother of LA Galaxy midfielder Efrain. So Barry is off. And it's going to be Tumi Moshobani checking in as well. And Guido will come off as part of that triple switch. Good shift for Guido, is a little bit more influential in the first than the second half. Alvarez will take up his spot wide on the left, and Rubin's day is done. He got the goal, continues his rich vein of form. And Moshobani, the South African attacker, will come on. So this will change things a bit.
Definitely slows the game down a little bit, but you have to think that he has a lot of faith in Ben Spencer to take out Miguel Berry after how good Berry's been. You wonder if maybe there was a game this weekend that they were resting players, but they must have a lot of faith in these guys.
A throw in and the first touch for Big Ben Spencer. Hackworth trying to work his way past Vasquez. Good defending. And St. Clair. So after all of this stop, yet more from the hydration break after the triple substitution, and a chance to discuss things even further, the proverbial timeout, if you will, with a quarter of an hour remaining. There's confirmation of those 3 subs. This could change things here. I mean, it does slow the game down when we have all this stop-start nature, but certainly you bring in a player like Tumi Moshobani, who is a first-team regular earlier in the campaign. That brings a little extra pace and width, no?
I mean, it's amazing that they're able to kind of bring on this type of talent late in the game. I mean, obviously the additions, you know, of Barry Rubin and Guido have been very influential, but you still have these guys that have these game experiences throughout the year that are going to be pretty impactful for what San Diego Loyal is going to try to do here in terms of finishing the game off. I think LA Galaxy too has probably made their substitutions, you know, at the halftime period. You wonder if there's another option that could come off the bench. It looks as though, you know, maybe Nava could be coming in now. You see Clayne Plummer, the goalkeeper coach, handing in the substitution pass. So that there could be one more change. And this is an offensive change that could be very advantageous in the opposite direction for LA Galaxy. But, you know, time's running out, probably 15 minutes left, and this is certainly an opportunity here in Carson that the LA Galaxy could come back, maybe snatch a point.
And it looks as though it should be Sebastian Nava getting set to enter the game. Plays a wide role in midfield. He'll replace Vera. So like for like in that regard, after Vera started in the center of the park and moved out wide after the halftime sub on of Alvarado.
The one thing that Junior Gonzalez has done is he's given a lot of these players opportunities to prove themselves. You know, so Nava's not a player who's this is the first time he's going to be seen. He's, you know, probably started, you know, within the last week. And so it's great for these young players to be able to not just get a chance, but get a repeat performance in case, and to reiterate how good that they're going to be for this club.
So it'll be a San Diego throw after we get that all sorted out. Martin finding the first touch of the game for Moshobani. Hackworth. South Africa just loses his footing and possession, and Hernandez claims. Ricochets off the head of Augie Williams and popped up by Metcalf. Spencer uses his large frame to get to it. Spencer not a small presence at 6'6". Martin. Goes out wide. The overlap from Metcalf. Here's Colin Martin. So no change in shape for Los Angeles. Moshobani will pair up top alongside Spencer. And a new look strike force for Landon Donovan, who is not out of the woods yet. Still 10 minutes plus added on time, and we expect it to be a fair chunk of it after a delay in the proceedings here in the second half.
Nice bout of possession here from San Diego Loyal.
Morad. Galaxy coming out of their shell and pressing just a bit. gotten it wide to Metcalf. Nice ball for Moshobani and a silky first touch from the South African. Moshobani bluffs his way through. It's onside, and it's Morgan Hackworth squaring it across, and perhaps should have gone for goal as he hits it behind all of his supporting runners. Nava, by the way, the third substitution for LA.
Moshobani kind of slicing and dicing through the LA Galaxy defense there.
We're up! We're up!
Colin Martin. A bit more direct inside run here from Metcalf. Lovely stuff, trying to find his countryman Adams, who does well to keep possession. Hackworth tries to get it right this time and sends it straight to Abraham Romero. Quick pitch out from the Los Dos keeper as Nava gets his first touch, trying to pick out Perez. He's got two to beat in front of him.
A little bit disconnected here from LA Galaxy 2 as San Diego Loyal kind of builds up. You have the front three, and then everybody else is kind of defending 40 yards away. So it's difficult to play when you're as spread out, both offensively and defensively.
So it'll be the fourth switch, and we'll see Victor Valdez check in. And it'll be Jorge Hernandez sacrificed. So this could mean a little bit more of an advanced role for Alejandro Alvarado, Kevin. As Valdez will slot into central midfield.
Yeah, you would imagine this starts to look a lot more like a 4-3-3 with Saldana kind of sitting in. Of Alvarado and Victor Valdez kind of in front of them as the 10s.
It's towards Elijah Martin on that booking. We'll await confirmation, perhaps too much delay. Adams, meanwhile, finds the feet of Metcalf, and Carlos Alvarez puts in a nicely weighted ball. Metcalf hits it first time and pops it up. Hackworth knocks it back and cleared away on the first touch of the game for Victor Valdez. Trying to have an influence on proceeding. The Galaxy need an injection of creativity, a spark here. Clumsy challenge, though, from Augie Williams, concedes the free kick.
Well, San Diego Loyal is doing a good job with possession. The transition of the LA Galaxy 2 has got to be a little bit more effective. You can't hold the ball for 3 seconds and defend for 2 minutes at this point in the match.
Off the foot of Cuevas. Galaxy pay a visit to Vegas on Saturday. And have the week off for a visit to Phoenix. Game is really coming fast and furious. Martin, or his namesake Colin Martin. San Diego impressively managing this game.
It's tough to mount a comeback if you can't touch the ball, so San Diego's doing a good job in terms of managing this last little bit. Ever since the substitution, I think the substitutions have actually been fairly beneficial from Landon's perspective.
Here's Hackworth. All action here in the near side. Elijah Martin will switch. Carlos Alvarez. Hackworth serves one up, and Vasquez stabs his foot forward to win it. Galaxy really need to push out. They want to put San Diego under any sort of pressure. Moshobani.
Moshobani's done a good job in terms of checking into some of these spaces in behind the 6.
Well played by Elijah Martin to find Morgan Hackworth. Squares it down for Adams. Good movement here, something brewing for San Diego. It's Metcalf, plays it for Alvarez, who's in on the back heel, but It's well anticipated by Mauricio Cuevas. And the Galaxy really need a good spell of possession right about now.
Yeah, they need to give themselves a break from the defending just by keeping the ball for a little bit here.
Kind of mirroring in ways what we saw from the senior team in stretches on Saturday. Disappointing loss to the Colorado Rapids, who came in and did a number on the Galaxy, 2-0.
I think they'll be most effective in the transition, but I just don't think they can continue to defend as long as they have been. San Diego's done a good job of figuring out how to push numbers a little bit higher up, make sure that the Galaxy's concentrated on defending. Haven't really been able to get the numbers forward that they'd like.
San Diego allowed those 2 goals in Phoenix, understandably so, when you're playing against the likes of Asante and Flemings and Dadashov. But that's the only 2 goals that they've allowed in the last 3 games. Alvarez trying to pick out Moshe Bani, just a little too heavy. Galaxy looking to break their duck. They've scored 22 times in their first 12 games. Only been held scoreless on 2 occasions, but one of those by this very same team just 2 weeks ago. The other being at the beginning of July in that 4-0 thrashing by Phoenix. Nava for Jesus Vasquez. Ontiveros. Vasquez making a little run. And well won from Elijah Martin. Hackworth slips and clears it away.
Cuevas is the option here.
Feel the temperature, the urgency starting to heat up a bit. Does Aloyo persist with their high line? Here's Saldana for Omar Ontiveros. Decent looking cross, but underneath it is Tarek Morad. And that one last off of Vasquez. Galaxy just looking to take that next step, Kevin, and find that missing ingredient to pick that defensive lock.
Yeah, at this point in the match, you got your 10s that are going to have to get into the box. They're going to have to be a little bit more active. Obviously, San Diego Loyal's doing a good job sitting in that low block of 8 and kind of clearing everything out from a headed perspective. So it's been back and forth, but the Galaxy's going to have to be a little bit more united on how they're going to be getting this goal in the last 10 minutes of this match.
That was Saldana went flying. Ontiveros anxious to get on with it, so they'll be told to retake it. 88th minute. Time becoming very much a factor in this. It's been hit and miss. We talked about it the last 4 games. 2 wins, 2 defeats for Los Dos. Wins over Orange County and Las Vegas. Losses against Orange County and his very same loyal team. Nava met on an aggressive challenge from Elijah Martin. Did win the ball, but he got a lot of Nava with it. So Elijah Martin with his 2nd bookable offense. You know what that means? He is off, and San Diego down to 10 men.
See Hackworth slide back into the left side here, but Elijah gets into something, hits the ball, but the follow through and everything else kind of is going to draw that 2nd yellow probably 9 times out of 10.
Now Martin pleading his case with the 4th official. So they'll go down to 10 men. And they get arguably one of the best players sent off, San Diego, and Elijah Martin, who is instrumental back there.
I was going to say that's going to be a massive loss for that group for the next match, because I thought Elijah Martin did a wonderful job on Johnny Perez the entire match.
Unavailable for their next clash at home to Phoenix. They'll float one up. Out comes Guerrero. Hasn't had a lot to do here in the 2nd half. Here's Valdez for Los Angeles. Final minute plus added on time. Long ball for Williams, but offside about the 4th or 5th time we've seen that here in the 2nd half.
On the first ball into the box, I don't even think there was a Galaxy player that went up to challenge the goalkeeper. So it's important that they have that first player available. Might have tried to relocate it, just maybe a little bit of a miss hit, but into the final minute of the match here. See what they have in terms of added time.
Well, you talked about it earlier. You said it. It's squeaky bum time.
6 minutes.
Maybe not so much. Go from squeaky bum to Fergie time, and just like that. Good hold-up play from Williams. This is Nava, who's floated to the near side. Good movement there from Perez, who's been quiet. Williams fires, deflects off of Clemente. It's on for Cuevas, the header down, and there it is. Right place at the right time. And the Galaxy get a much-needed equalizer off the head of Alex Alvarado, snatching a draw from the jaws of defeat. 1-1.
Well, finally, the LA Galaxy gets numbers into the box. You never would have thought it would have been Alex Alvarado on the end of a header at the backside, but Johnny Perez is in, Alex Alvarado's in. And you see them surging here late in the match. Cuevas, excellent service, and no doubt about it from Alex Alvarado. You can just see how excited the youngster is. Victor Valdez shows up, young 16-year-old there playing the 10 as well. So massive, massive goal there for Junior Gonzalez and his side.
His first goal for Los Dos, coming at just the right time, and that will really draw the ire of Landon Donovan. He was so close to walking out of his old stomping grounds with 3 big points, and this is really going to throw this group into disarray. Here's Moshobani, though. Still plenty of time left as it drifted over the byline, or did it? Appeared to be the case, so it's going to be corner kick.
Looks like a throw-in. The opposite side assistant still moving around and not waiting at the corner, so here's the throw.
Well played by Romero to keep it in. Here's Hackworth.
Didn't take the Elijah Martin dismissal very long to pay off for the Los Angeles Galaxy. The service coming right there from Cuevas on that side.
You know, you can beat a dead horse here in regards to Los Dos, but it's a team that, you know, they've been down and out so many occasions. They've had their character examined, and once again they come back from a goal down. Still with ample time for another. Another switch coming up now for San Diego. They're going to bring in Francis Atuahene, who's on loan from FC Dallas, the Ghanaian speedster. It's kind of been the odd man out with the new signings and such, but he does bring an element of pace and aggression. Already a couple of goals under his belt this season.
Extremely high line here from the Galaxy.
Here's Adams curling one in. Nice delivery. Sits up for Martin, who gets it all wrong. And a goal kick for Abraham Romero.
Question is, does LA Galaxy continue to push and try to catch a second, or are they going to be happy to get their point and call it a night?
Remember, they have played 2 fewer games. Bawa.
Johnny Perez out here on the wing.
Big switch now. Augie Williams is in, brings it down. Augie Williams, did he use his hand? Clearly was the case. Just tried to sneak it in there and tried to disguise it.
Nice ball there from Johnny Perez. I think Augustine Williams' cast, or whatever he used there, is probably standing out a little bit too much in that case.
And some extracurriculars and some dissent. It looks as though it's being dealt to Spencer.
as they looking to put the ball in here towards Augustine Williams in the corner.
11 yellow cards tonight. My goodness. They'll have to retake this free kick. Stoppage time here in Carson. 6 minutes were added on. We probably will see more than that. Abraham Romero gives it a ride. Atuahene hands it as far as Saldana, collected by Colin Martin now. And Metcalf hits and hopes, but Vasquez gets his head to it. Last off of Ontiveros, who's drifted over to the left-hand side and brought in Cuevas as the right back. A switching of roles between those two.
Proved to be an important one too, because Cuevas ended up getting the assist from out here, so it's a nice decision there from Junior Gonzalez.
Really reads his angles well as a manager. As a tactician, it's been so impressive from Junior Gonzalez. He's pushed so many right buttons. Considering that he's got such a young group, so many teenagers. So the 6 minutes is up. Both teams living on borrowed time. Standing over it is Mauricio Cuevas, and as prolific as he is from dead balls, this is a little bit out of his range.
Or so we think.
Played a big role in that goal moments ago for Alex Alvarado. Can he supply the winner here? Cuevas floats one up. Out comes Guerrero. Sure-handed that time. He looked very confident. Austin Guerrero.
It's a big win there from Saldana.
Williams getting the better of Colin Martin. Time of the essence.
Hold, hold, Bubba, hold. Come on. Hey, Johnny, Johnny.
So it'll be Adams standing over it. Everybody forward except for two. Clementa meets it, but it skips out, and that's gonna do it. It went down to the wire, but it was a stoppage time header from Alex Alvarado, nodding in the cross from Cuevas, and that after Rubio Rubin gave San Diego the lead 4 minutes before halftime from the penalty spot, as it ends 1-1 here in Carson. Kevin Hartman, your final thoughts here.
I mean, just such a critical goal there from LA Galaxy 2 to take the 2 points away from San Diego Loyal, who's put themselves into a great position. What an absolutely phenomenal performance from San Diego Loyal. I think they'll be disappointed that they didn't get the full 3 points, but it was definitely a situation where LA Galaxy snatched those points, and rightfully so.
All right, so 15 game plays for San Diego on 23 points, 13 games played for Los Dos on 22 as they cut the gap to just 1. All right, we're going to step aside. When we return, we'll wrap it all up from Carson, where LA and San Diego draw at 1 apiece.
This is LA.
Esto es LA.
Ciudad de Los Ángeles.
This is our city.
Esta es nuestra casa.
Since 1996.
Since 1996.
Esta es nuestra
This is
familia.
our family.
Familia.
Our club. Supporting each other.
Supporting our team. Champions. Here.
Ahora.
Siempre. LA.
Chance for Alvarez! His first MLS goal! He's got an open goal! Score!
And the Galaxy come back from a goal down to snatch victory away from San Diego Loyal in stoppage time off the head of Alex Alvarado, who gets his first ever goal. And as a result, LA and San Diego have to settle for a share of the points. Let's take a look back at some of the better moments of this one. A real absorbing, entertaining first half. LA adjusting well after a bright start. Nice little save back there from Guerrero, and then a good take here, Kevin, from Berry. Ultimately, though, he couldn't find the target. In this crossover, Guido knocking on the door. The Galaxy look a little disorganized at times. And then the penalty, Neal brings down Adam, and up steps Rubio Rubin, a la Luis Figo on the stutter step. Not much Abe Romero could do about that. So we go to the second half, and the goal would come off the head of Alex Alvarado on a lovely ball from Cuevas. It's something that you mentioned here, Kevin, during the game, the switching of the fullbacks, Cuevas to the right, and moving over, of course, Ontiveros. It paid huge dividends.
Yeah, I mean, Cuevas is a player that's a right-footed player. You probably, everybody would like to play him on that right side, but the way that things have worked out, I thought he's done an effective job on the left. But to see that transition, see him come over and take that right-footed cross, swerves away from the goalkeeper, and it's a great header there from Alex Alvarado. I think the thing that makes me most excited about it is seeing Victor Valdez there as well. You have your attacking midfielders getting into the box. There's options, and certainly a great result there for LA Galaxy too.
So Los Dos, it's as you were. They remain 1 point adrift of San Diego in the third position, while Loyal hang on to that second spot, having played, however, 2 more games. Up next for LA Galaxy 2, they'll get set to pay a visit to Frank Ellip and the Las Vegas Lights coming up on Saturday night at Cashman Field. Kickoff time 7:30 Pacific. Next up for San Diego, they'll get set to do battle against Phoenix on the 30th, so a little bit of rest for them as they look to finish with a flourish. But the final score tonight on an absorbing contest in Carson reads LA Galaxy 2-1, San Diego Loyal SC 1. On behalf of the entire crew, my partner Kevin Hartman, this is Christian Miles saying good night from Carson.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.